Uh, Thank you. Thank you. Bit hard to follow these two amazing, incredible presentations, but I will do my very best. Hey, everyone. I'm Spyros. Thanks for this epic introduction. I do a lot of things. I wear many hats. I'm kind of an OWASP dinosaur. I've been with OWASP for like 15 years since I was a student, and I had a full head of hair. Not anymore. OWASP has been literally my entire career, so this is great. And lately, so I run OpenCRE. It's the largest knowledge graph for security in the world and the very first security chatbot. Maybe still the only free one. We'll find out. But anyway, lately I'm the co-founder of Smithy.security. It's an open core security tool that focuses on orchestration and reduces noise. Pretty much what Tanya said about maturing AppSec programs and running multiple tools and being lost in tools. We do that. Just passionate about helping people. But I'm not here to talk about what I do in my free or not free time. I'm here to talk about pretty much some AI stuff and some passion of mine. This year, I keep getting recommended on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and well, that's the things I follow. I keep recommending the phrase 2025 is the year of agentic AI. This is catchy as hell. There is all these articles have about a 70% click-through rate for me because, well, it's catchy, but it doesn't tell you what it does. So I thought that since this is the first OWASP meetup of the year, why don't we start the year by having some definitions and learning a bit all together. So like in the next very few minutes, I will try very hard to say what is agentic AI and can we draw some parallels with what we already know. What are some use cases generally in the world so that we have some ideas? What are some use cases in the security world? Plus, what are we looking at as the Smithy team? And also, what are some security considerations, also known as how we messed up implementing it. And we will try very hard to finish with some resources so that you can all catch up or you can all have access to the same information we have. We're not about hiding information here. So we start with the basics. What is even agentic AI? Well, Anthropic's definition, I'm not an expert, is imagine a software system that doesn't just execute commands, so you don't tell it what to do and it does it, but takes proactive steps to achieve a goal, this agentic AI. Well, for example, both Claude and ChatGPT can generate images. Both Claude and ChatGPT can be connected to external things that can serve as a callbacks. So you can have a prompt that says, here's a callback to generate images and find the temperature on Cairo and find the temperature in any place on the world. Every time I ask you what is the temperature anywhere in the world, I want an image that shows that temperature. The AI can either use its own knowledge base or generate an image with the callbacks you gave it. Agentic AI is also a self-driving car. It has agency to drive and turn and do what it does. Run someone over or not run someone over, depends on if Katie got into the API or not. So that's about it about agentic AI. There is a small difference. If the AI has agency to make its own decisions, agentic. If you have some deterministic code that dips in and out of the LLM to process things, for example, analyzes an image, finds if the image contains a bunny, and if the image contains a bunny, then sends prompt 1, if not prompt 2, then that is an AI workflow. It is not agentic. This is important because I found several resources that said if the AI uses an agent, it is by definition agentic, which makes no sense. So let's talk about some use cases because that was confusing enough and it's already late. Some use cases beyond the staircase that goes nowhere. You can do knowledge augmentation and training. Training humans most of the time, very badly, nowhere close near as Tanya does it. But you can do some knowledge augmentation and training. Essentially, an AI can say, this is a person, customize this for this person. These are some improvements on this person. This is some characteristics of this person, maybe a developer, maybe a security person, maybe a CISO. Explain this to that particular person, and you have these external capabilities to do so. Marketing, exactly the same thing, customization. Customer service, one thing I found that is pretty cool is Display's chatbot can customize invoices now, which nice. The AI can reason based on what you told it, and it can access the world. And I'm going to skip continuous regulatory compliance because I think we can all imagine what is this use case, read some news, and figure out what you need to do. But something that is very cool is that OpenAI just registered the operator subdomain, operator.openai.com. According to their docs, that's an agent that controls operating systems. So bare metal command and control via LLM. That is cool. So that's some generic use cases. Let's talk about the OWASP use cases, essentially what we're looking for and what we are passionate about. An easy product security use case is automated and accurate tooling configuration. If my model or if my application can generate, for example, SEMGREP rules and apply them and test them based on the code that I have or the repository that I give it, that saves me time. That is super cool. And it can also cut down on my noise. No reason to see 3,000 fake XSS stuff anymore, XSS alerts. Next one, product security workflow creation. Well, that's what we do. That's what we're looking into very, very much. It is an abstraction on the previous one. Essentially, if I can do this with SEMGREP, why not do this with every tool I can, but also use the best tool for the job? Find out if my repository contains binaries and then run an antivirus, or if it contains models and then run a model scanner. Next, remediation with testing. That, I mean, everybody who's seen a GitHub Copilot knows what this is. GitHub Copilot requires a model to be trained. With an agent, you can do this without training a model. This is, and everybody who knows, who has trained models knows that this is a gigantic pain in the butt. You cannot just feed OpenAI into your model training and hope for the best. That is not going to work. Another one that we are very much looking forward to implementing is false positive detection with voting and consensus. This is something described in Chip Huen's book on AI engineering. If you get several agents, several agentic systems to work together, and they can potentially reach a consensus, or at least they can vote, and then you can have more chances of being correct or less chances of seeing a hallucination. Or, depending on your prompts, more chances of seeing a hallucination, depending how bad you mess up. Ask me how I know. And the last one, and there is at least 2 of us in the room that I know that are looking into this, automated and finally accurate threat modeling using some LLM, or at least some AI application. If my AI can deepen out of my code, my AST using SEMGREP or Atom or some sort of AST generator, if my LLM can also talk to other systems and decide on every part of my application if it needs to assign a threat, or if that part of the application is talking to an external system that makes it a data boundary, or any sort of threat modeling application, you have a slightly better chance of doing accurate threat modeling. It really depends on how you implement it. And because I keep saying it depends, here's how we have messed up. Accuracy decreases drastically, I will say it a third time, drastically, with a number of tools. We tried very hard to give an LLM the ability to program product security workflows. If you only need SAST, do not give it the access to run an antivirus. guess what? Because it will run it. It will try it. And then you try to run an antivirus on a text-only repository that didn't need it. Tokens wasted, money wasted. Some altman is rubbing his pockets. You get the idea. Another one is permissions. If your AI has access to one method that reads the temperature in Cairo, there is no reason to give it access to the method that reads your AWS access keys. There is also no reason to give it access to the method that deletes a database. Why would you do that? I've seen this done because people are lazy and they forget credentials. One more, human in the loop. Everybody's saying this and shouting this from the rooftops. If an AI does something, get a human to validate it. We saw this many times with threat modeling, where it just draws a picture that looks like this, but with many fingers instead of your threat model. Funds denial is my favorite one. Trust me how many times I've run out of tokens or money while doing a demo. Many. Your use case is amazing, super accurate, until you run out of money, and then nothing happens because you are sending exactly max tokens on every single request. Or a user can send max tokens, because why not? And the last one, and this one is coming from my very good friend and author of OWASP AI Exchange, Rob van der Veer, old-time injections. Do not assume that the LLM will give you clear arguments, right? If you're talking to a database, you still need all the normal database protections. There is no reason to not have them, because the LLM will propagate or even clean the SQL injection for the attacker. It will make their lives easier. And again, if Kate has anything to do with it, it will probably hack the LLM as well. And that's all. Simple, exactly 13 minutes. Some resources. OWASP AI Exchange is what OWASP has to do with AI, run by literally the person who writes the European regulation on AI. It's at owaspai.org. Chip Huen wrote the book on AI engineering. That's her post on agents. Anthropic's post on agents, they disagree slightly. They agree on some stuff, so good to read both. Frameworks. Anthropic really says you should not be using frameworks because they add tokens to your model, and that's how you run out of money. But I like frameworks because they allow you to prototype faster. LangGraph, AutoGPT, and Bear are all great. And there is Daniel Missler's Fabric that is not exactly an agentic framework, or you cannot do a lot of agent stuff with it, but it has a lot of really cool security use cases. And exactly 13 minutes, thank you.